Okay, good afternoon. I have the pleasure, I've been so excited about this. I get to meet with Lydia Davies from Osprey, and like the bird, join Osprey. And she's got, I'll tell you what, if you're interested in somebody that's a writer, singer, an athlete, an entrepreneur, you're gonna love. And I don't know what you do in your spare time. You know, probably have some hobbies too. But anyway, I'm so excited to learn from you and just get to know you better. And so, Lydia, welcome. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Warren. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here today, close to the holidays like this.
Yes. So tell me, what is your how do you narrow this down? What is your passion? What do you love the most?
I love communities and helping people. I mean, there's a lot of things I love. Let's be honest. I have a long list of things. Obviously, my kids, but really, I have a big passion for bringing people together. I think that when you try and go off and do things on your own, whether it be personal or business or whatnot, it's just not the same as if you're in a
Mm,
community with people. And it doesn't matter if that's like your neighbors or the people from work or the moms at my kid's school or whatever it is. Like a community creates humanity, in my opinion. So that's what I'm really passionate about is creating communities and then elevating those communities together as a whole.
that's beautiful. I love that. It's so much fun when you can connect people, and then it's for the greater good of them, but also helps the world as a whole, like you said.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So is that why you started this cool new company?
Well, this stems from quite a few different things that happened in my life. I was in the music industry for a long time, starting at age 16. I was a singer-songwriter. I also played soccer in college. I was always a big athlete. Um, well, big as in like loved it so much, spent a lot of time playing it. And I found that all those sectors that I was doing between sports and entertainment were very male focused. In the
Mm,
music industry, I had a male agent, manager, producer, A&R, everything. And being a young girl, like I didn't really know what contracts to sign and what they were getting me into and whatnot. And I discovered as I was running another sports tech business here in Houston at a later age that through the women I knew from that business, it was still the same situation a decade later.
mm, really?
They still felt like they didn't have the support they needed. They wanted a safer space to talk. They wanted a network. They wanted the community feel. They wanted to feel empowered. And they wanted to talk to like-minded women and have that space to go. Also, if we talk about come to the finances, they're not getting as much money as as their male
Mm,
counterparts, which we all know.
mhm.
Um, they couldn't get as many sponsorships or brand deals and all those things. So I was like, I can't let this go on any longer. I just can't do it. So I kind of took the platform I was doing at that time and turned it into Osprey, and created this space for women in these two sectors. Not only because they intertwine and collaborate and really bounce off each other well, but because they really needed the support and the network.
That's awesome. So you took a passion for people and helping people and saw a need and developed it into a network and I mean a business as well. The network to really help people, correct?
Correct. Yes.
So why the name? Talk to me about the name.
Well, so I don't know if you know this, but I started reading this bird book to my kids, like when they're only 5 and 6 now, but we have like a Texas bird book.
Oh,
And I think it's like the majority, I would say like 90% of the bird book, the female bird builds the nest, gets the food, does all the hard work, whilst the male just like hangs around looking pretty. And the osprey specifically, like the male birds like sit on, posts or podiums, and the females go out and like build the nest and get the food and do all the stuff, all the hard work. So I thought they're also like birds that soar really well. And it just seemed like a really like accurate symbol of what we were representing.
I love it. That's brilliant. By the way, the sitting around on the post sounds like a pretty good gig to me.
I mean, it sounds Right. Like we all want to sit around looking pretty on a post, but like someone's got to build shelter and get food and make money, or in a bird's world, I don't know what they bring in. I don't know, worms to eat.
Yeah. They need sustenance and they need protection and safety, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And so I think that's a great parallel to what you're doing. So you're connecting athletes and artists and executives, women, and collecting them and putting them together and letting them connect. So what does that look like on your platform?
Yeah, so we have 3 different circles. It's like a Venn diagram in the community. So one circle is the athletes and entertainers. So it ranges from like Olympians to DJs to news anchors, actresses, models. And then we've got the executives in sport and entertainment, which is, women that do anything in sports entertainment, production, directors. We've got people that work at the NHL, the NWSL, a great mix of incredibly intelligent, amazing women. And then we've got our third circle, which is our college circle, which is college female athletes, which we just started recently. So they all collaborate. The 2 first circles mentor the college circle and help them find a way to a career path or support going pro. And then everyone collaborates at events and finds ways to help each other. There's resources that we have for them. We do like in real life events. I still say in real life after COVID, where everyone can meet up and be on panels and speak and DJ and be a part of these like elevated community events. So it's been an awesome thing to see all the women collaborate and really learn from each other and share their stories. Like at our retreat we just did, we had a lot of them sharing their personal stories with the community. And it's really amazing to see like how authentic and how vulnerable they can be when they're in like a group of women that feel like, their team. So it's been great to watch.
That's cool. I think we all learn from others, and probably what we learn the most is that we're all struggling with a lot of the same things, right?
Yes, 100%. You can relate. I mean, that I was looking around in the room when one of the athletes was telling her story, and all the other women are just sitting there like nodding, like, yes, I get you. Like I've been through the same thing, maybe in a different parallel, but it's, the same feelings and the same stuff comes up. So, and then you feel understood, if you've got people that are going through the same stuff as you or see the world the same way you do, you feel understood and you have a space to belong. And that can honestly save people, having a space that they feel like they belong. I mean, all the mental health things going on these days, if there's somewhere you can go where you're like, I feel like I have people I can turn to here. Like this is enough.
Yeah, I'm not alone. Just that
Yeah.
I'm not alone, and I got somebody I could call or email or whatever, or connect on some platform is really, really cool.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
so what's the ultimate dream? Like if this organization, when, not if, as it continues to grow and you continue to get more members and this is worldwide, right? As I recall when I looked at this, like we're talking about a global organization.
Yeah, so it really started with like the US and Canada, and then we started getting a couple European members and Australian members. And so the plan is to make it worldwide so that people, athletes in Australia are connecting to athletes and DJs and executives in America and Europe and Middle East. And so the whole point is to create this like powerful, influential, incredible network globally for women in sports entertainment, where they can have resources all over the world, learn from each other. If one of them's flying to Australia tomorrow to film something, they can connect and have friends to meet up with for dinner. And just this, this community where you always feel like there's a space for you, or no matter where you go.
Do you have to vet? I mean, do you have to? Do you vet people?
I do.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we do. It's more based on, are you going to put anything into the community yourself? Like, is this valuable to you? Or are you more of an independent person that, not independent as in like do your own thing, but do you prefer to not collaborate? And there are people that don't want to collaborate, and that's okay. That's their thing. But Osprey is all about collaborating and supporting and network. And so you have to be willing to be part of the group and also be willing to agree that like, yeah, I'm going to give what I take and I'm going to help these people and they're going to help me. And it's going to be it's going to be a family situation. So that's mostly why, also just to get to know people before, before you bring them in. Because one of our core values is confidentiality, to make sure that, people's secrets aren't spilled all over the place when they're vulnerable with the group. So, that's important as well. So yeah, it is a very carefully curated group. And it will continue to be that way.
That's awesome. Okay, so what's been your biggest challenge thus far in building this thing?
I think a lot of it has been bringing in sponsors for events and fundraising and that kind of thing. We had a lot earlier this year, because women's sports went from, kind of like slowly going up to all of a sudden like a hockey stick straight up this year, which is absolutely incredible. But it also takes people time, corporations, investors, et cetera, to get their head around that and to see the ROI possibilities. So I think that so much of our first half of the year was, their mentality was, is this a fad? Is this going to keep going? Is this going to be like, we're supporting women in sports in 2024 and then 2025, it's like, oh, that's over, that fad's over, which is not the case, but that's where people's mind was at. It's like if a new app starts taking off, people are like wary of using it at the beginning because they're not sure if it's just a fad and it's going to go away and everyone's going to go back to Instagram and TikTok. It's that making people believe in it, and you have to have the tenacity to just keep pushing and pushing. And it's absolutely exhausting to try and persuade people over and over again that this is here to stay. Your daughters will be playing sports professionally and be getting paid a good salary. So yeah, that's been a really real challenge, is just convincing people that women's sports are just sports that you're going to watch. And
Yes.
same thing in like some of the music stuff, like DJ, we've got a bunch of female DJs in the community. They've had, they sometimes have a hard time because that industry was also very male dominated.
Sure.
The executives, we've got some executives that sit in boardrooms with, 15 men and they're the only women all the time. So it's just constant convincing and making people see and believe. Luckily I have a lot of energy, so I'm the right person to push it, but I can see how it can be, it's challenging, it's turning people's way of thinking, when they're settled in a certain way of thinking.
Yeah. So the hockey stick is Caitlin Clark. Is that the hockey stick?
Yeah, there's quite a few amazing things that have happened this year. She's obviously been one of the leaders in it, which is just incredible. And I'm very grateful for her talent and she's very raw and real. And I love that. And I know everyone's very grateful that it took such an amazing, incredible talent like Serena in the past to come in and be like, look at us, like we are amazing. So yeah, that's obviously been a huge part of it. I mean, I was lucky enough to go to a Fever game and it was electric in there, like just absolutely
awesome.
Incredible atmosphere. So yeah, that's a lot to do with it. And we're starting to see like in golf and tennis and some of the sports, like the prizes are going up, and so that's really exciting. We just need to keep, it's going to need a good, another decade of like constant pushing for it to get to where we need to be.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I also think about, like, of course, the Olympics. You've got the Olympic gymnastic team.
Simone, go
Simone,
all
what a
the way.
force. Like, there's a lot of power.
You can't not be, that's the thing. Her talent is so extreme that you can't not be in awe of some little like amazing person that can flip like 30 feet into the air. I mean, it's anyone, male, female, whatever, sits there and they're like, how is she going that high? Like, that is not human. So it makes people pay attention. Yeah, it's amazing.
And then I think about like my wife went to Nebraska, so like the Nebraska volleyball team has sold out their stadium for like I don't know 10 years in a row, something like that. And they did a match in the Nebraska stadium, so they had 80,000 people at a volleyball game. Like that's pretty intense, right? So
That's
it's really
amazing.
yeah, it's really taking off, and it's definitely not a fad. So, but I like what you said about you got to have a bunch as a business owner. You have to have a lot of tenacity, stick to itness, fight to get through to the next level. Would you say that's the number one thing as an entrepreneur that you need to have?
100% grit, like grit and scrappy, and and that's been me my whole life. But I mean, you also have to constantly believe in yourself when nobody else does. And for me,
Oh,
it's like believing, I believe in all the women in the community and the women that we're supporting. So I'm believing in them. And in order to believe in them, I also have to believe in myself to try and help them. So um it's a lot of confidence, like up and downs, like imposter syndrome, like, can I really do this? Are you sure? And then you're like, yes, I can.
yes.
Um, but yeah, grit, I would say, is the number one trait of an entrepreneur that is necessary to succeed.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Grit is so important. And then I also like that you mentioned imposter syndrome because I think it's something, if you look at a collective group of whatever, of business people or athletes or musicians or artists or anybody, there's got to be the point where like, do I really, because I've heard it in interviews, do I really belong here? And we've all said it to
Yep.
ourselves, like, do I really deserve this? Have I really earned this? Am I really as good as other people in this room? How do you get through that?
Um, it's hard. It's like on the days that you're feeling good, just naturally, it's okay and it's fine. But on the days that you're feeling sensitive or something else in your life is happening that's tough, it's hard. I mean, I just kind of got to the point that where I just didn't care what people thought anymore about like 3 or 4 years ago. I mean, I was getting there and then it just suddenly hit and I was like, I don't really care what they're doing or what they think. Well, I do
Mm,
care what they're doing, but like, the judgment doesn't bother me. Like you could sit there and judge me and I would brush it off. Um, I kind of
yeah.
got to that point, I think, because I've moved so many times, lived in so many places, went to so many different schools. I've worked in a lot of different industries that you just get to the point where it's like, well, some people are going to like me, some people aren't. Some people are going to think my business is stupid, and some people aren't. And that's okay. You find the people that want to be behind you, even if that's 2 out of 100 people in the room. You gravitate towards those people, and those are your people.
Yeah, you find the people that are have the same vision or belief, and the positive people that are going to actually build you up versus give you all the reasons why your idea is bad or all the things that could go wrong. Negative
Yeah.
negativity,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So how about teams? When you've worked with teams, whether that be on teams or built teams, what do you look for? And we've talked about the positivity and belief in what you're going and where you're going. Where you're going, I guess not what you're going. That's not correct, but where you're going. What do you look for in team members or when you're hiring, or what's your go-to? What's your non-negotiable?
One of the things is authenticity. Like I really love women that and women and men that can be honest with, who they are and what they're capable of and what they can do. I feel
Hmm.
like anyone can learn how to do something, but that foundation of like truthfulness, impact, like you have to want to create impact. If you just want to glide through a job and like fly under the radar, like you should not be working in a startup like ever, because that's never the case. Like, I mean, as the people that I've worked with, it's like, we're finding ways to figure stuff out when it doesn't go the right way. If we don't get the money we need or whatever, we are on the phone at 8 o'clock at night, like finding another way. So I think that that's really important. You have to want to get in there and get dirty and figure it out and be a problem solver and a critical thinker. Um, so that's really what I look for. Also, people that care about humans. Like
Uh,
you have to have a certain amount of empathy. Because if you don't, you just can't work in a space where you're working in a community with, humans that need things all the time. So, empathy is a really big one for me.
That's good. I like all those. I like the, you got this core belief, you got to be gritty, you got to be able to be scrappy but you still have to care. You got to care about people.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I
What's
have
the
to plug
biggest?
my computer in 1 second. I have
Oh, you're good. You're
battery.
good.
Okay, we're in. We're back online.
I love it. This is real life stuff we're doing
This is
here.
real life. It's when I don't know if you listen to Joe Rogan, but he's always like, we got a break to go pee.
It just is what it is, right?
I mean, yeah.
Everybody pees.
Yeah. I mean, this conversation so interesting. My computer got drained of energy.
I love it. All right. So biggest challenge you've overcome and learning from it. What you learned from it.
The biggest challenge, I think, again, is like probably this year. So that this is real, maybe too much information, but when I started Osprey, I literally suddenly got divorced. The divorce hadn't happened, but I suddenly split up from my partner about a month later,
Wow.
unexpectedly for me. So I was like already in Osprey, building it, had these members, and then had to go through that with my kids. And that was like trying to build a startup and going through a giant life change like that was every day I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. But I kept going somehow. I don't know how I did it. Now that I look back, I'm like, what? Like, what was that mindset? Because I just every day I wanted to quit, but I didn't. And I just kept going and going and going. And if every day I was like, all I need to do was survive, make it through this day, get the work done I need to do, be a great mom, and focus, and just wake up the next day and do the same thing. And it was kind of like, Groundhog Day, where you're not really living, but you're there and you're present and, not thriving, but surviving. But I kept it going and I grew it, and maybe not the percentage that my normal self would have done, but it still happened and kept alive and grew and changed people's lives. So that I think would be my biggest challenge ever as an entrepreneur.
Golly, that's a lot. And like just like in Groundhog Day, sometimes you just got to punch the reporter. Like if you're familiar with movies, sometimes you just got to punch the reporter. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's like. I was like, we'll just get through. It's not my best self, not my best foot forward, but we're alive. We're moving,
Yeah, we're moving. We have forward motion, and I think sometimes, like when you think about those kinds of challenges, what I've seen in the past, and I've had a challenge that is a similar challenge, let's just say. Thank God it wasn't a divorce, but you have other things you go through, loss of loved ones, etc. Why, and especially while you're trying to do something that's really, really hard, you get through it, thank God, and people are like, you were so strong through that whole thing. And what you're thinking is, holy crap, I barely survived this. Like I survived by like really literally the skin, like the skin of my hands. I barely made it. I was just gripping on and holding on. Did you get that same feeling?
Yes, yes. I was like, there was days when I was like, should I commit myself to a hospital? Like, what, like, am I here? Am I really here? Am I really? Yeah. Oh, yeah. And now, yeah, I've had so many people say, you're so strong. I can't believe you did all that going through that. And I was like, I definitely did not feel strong. I mean, like, and I don't know. I mean, I guess from the outside, it's, it's the Instagram versus reality thing, right? Like
Yes.
people are watching you from the outside and they're like, wow, this person's building this and they're going through this and they're doing overcoming all these challenges. And you're like, ugh.
Yeah, like, oh.
Yeah, it's literal slow motion, like crawling on the ground. It's like an Ace Ventura movie, where it's like everything's just like, and you're like just reaching for a sip of water to stay alive.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That's how you see yourself. But then after, time does heal. You realize that, it's kind of funny when you think back, you're like, what was I doing?
What was that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's some encouragement there for people right? I mean, that's like part of why you built this community too, because people are going through it and they think they're not hardly going to make it, and other people are just amazed at what they're doing. And that kind of collaboration and talking about getting through struggles, even if you're not really even sure how you're doing it, you're just putting one foot in front of the other, trying to move forward, like, is super inspiring.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's true, and I've learned that from other people that have gone through crazy stuff and come back and done amazing things. Like I watch them and I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And you just find your ways to manage. I mean, humans are incredible. Like my thing was like I started becoming obsessed with like ice plunging. So I would just sit in a 36-degree bathtub for like 5 minutes every day and I wouldn't even feel it. Like it wasn't even like
Oh my
I sit
gosh.
there and I'd be like, oh, this is, and people are like, isn't that hard? I'm like, nope, nope. But that like saved me. Like there was something about that routine that just,
Ah,
and cold shock that just like snapped me out of my funk every day. Um, so yeah, it's watching how people manage and like, get through stuff that you're like, okay, if they can do it, I can do it.
yeah, and if the ice bath was the easiest thing you did that day, then that's quite a day, right?
I know. People are like, I'm like, you should try it. And they're like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, it's amazing.
Are you still doing it now?
Yeah, I still do it. I don't do it. I moved away, so I actually went to a place, and when I moved,
Oh,
it's now not next to my house anymore. But I'm gonna try and get my own in my own house because it really is incredible. Like cold therapy is amazing.
really? Oh, that's cool. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about if you have one piece of advice for a budding entrepreneur, what would that be?
I would say to really turn off the noise outside because I know a lot of entrepreneurs I talk to quit because like competition shows up or someone tells you what you're thinking is unrealistic or they say like, "Oh, how are you going to manage that?" Like that's the like whenever anyone says, "How are you going to manage that?" Zone them out. Um, so yeah, just turning off the noise and just believing in what you're seeing because you're seeing it for a reason. Like you're given the gift of the creative thought or invention or idea, and it's there for a reason. And whether you're going to do something with it or not is totally up to you. And whatever anyone else thinks doesn't really matter because you're doing it because you're seeing it. They're not seeing it. So that's what I would say. Like, symbolically put headphone noise reduction headphones on and just go for it.
Yes. Focus, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What do you see as the biggest challenge for business or specifically for your business coming up in the future?
I think it's still the same thing discussed before, like making investors, corporations, whatnot, believe in the subject matter. Um, Also, I think just getting people to, we have never had any trouble getting members. Like it's the
Hmm.
women have come on so easily. So it's more just getting the brands to believe in them, and support them and support the community as a whole, and get people to see the big vision of it. Because if you have this global influential community of women in these sectors, like that's a movement right there. It's a collective. It's powerful, and we're always better and more powerful together than separately. So, I think a lot of focus is on communities right now and will be more in the future too, because it's a mental health thing, like we spoke
Yeah.
about. And I love that. Like I want people to start, I encourage people to start communities all the time. Like my neighbors, I'm like, hey, you should do this. Or, some of my friends that do like sound therapy or that stuff, I'm like, start a community for it. Um,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So I try and push it no matter where I go because it means a lot to people.
That's awesome. I think that and know from past experience in my life that marketers, big companies are looking for communities that are of a certain type of demographic that are movers and shakers and connected and influencers. And that's what you've got. You've got this
Yeah.
awesome community of great women that are powerful and doing amazing things and touching a lot of people too. I would sure think they would want to be a sponsor or something that you do because my gosh, what's a better way to reach folks than by sponsoring something with you? Seems to make
Yes. Yes, exactly. And because we have all the different outlets, like the music, the news, the broadcasting, the influencer, et cetera, it gets put on so many different platforms and their brand gets showcased in so many different ways. So it's a really neat, like, creative way of getting your brand out to a large group of women and their fans.
Yeah, and they will have affinity. This group will have affinity for people that are supporting them. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just that's sponsorship, that's advertising, and that's what companies are looking for. That's what they're
Yeah.
trying to accomplish, right? I mean, to be real.
Exactly. Yeah.
They get a great chance. Okay, so somebody wants to join your group. What should they do? Just go to your website. Like, what's the best
Yep.
way to
You can go to our website and apply online there, or you can send us a message on Instagram or LinkedIn. We always answer. It's at Join Osprey on TikTok, Twitter. Don't, to be honest, X, sorry. Don't use X a whole lot yet, but Instagram, LinkedIn, or send an email to lydia@joinosprey.com.
That's awesome, Lydia. I'm just thankful for you, and I'm thankful for what you're doing and your energy, and I know you're just going to continue to kill it. I'm just thankful for our time together. It's
Oh,
been
thank you. And I'm so thankful for you having platforms like this. Like podcasts are my favorite thing to listen to and my favorite media. And I love that there's such wonderful people like yourself doing it who just want to get people's words out there and spread good energy. And that's important.
it's a great thing. Have a great day, and I
Thank
can't wait
you.
to see you soon.
Thank you.
All right, cheers.